how do your guides communicate with you and help you with your lessons?
Well, it happens in a variety of ways, but all my lessons are experiential, you might say. They put me through my paces. I have things come up in my lives that are problems that I need to solve, and they communicate with me through these processes, and they put things in my way that will be helpful to me, that would be inspirational or help me put the pieces together. And they can be connections with people, they can be things I read. I happen to read, or I was actually led to a course of love uh, by, I think it's Mari Perron, and it turns out to be like a textbook for all my lessons. And so I may pick that book up at times, and I absolutely can't even focus on it to read a line. It's like it just, my interest is not there. And then at precisely the right time, I'll pick it up. Maybe a week goes by or 2 weeks, and I can't focus. And all of a sudden, it all makes perfect sense. And I may read 2 or 3 pages, and it all just falls into place. It's like, okay, this is the sum up of your lessons. I astral travel. I get vivid dreams. Let me give you one example of a vivid dream I had last night, and this was in addition to some other lessons I was getting. I had this very vivid dream wherein I had set down my purse outside a store, and it's a red purse. My purse is red, and I could see this red purse. And I came back realizing I had lost it, and I saw it, and I looked inside it because I was wondering if uh, everything was intact. I was thinking, oh good, nobody took it. And I looked inside, and the wallet was gone with all my ID and the money I had on me, which was only $20, which in my dream was only $20, and in actuality that's all I had in my purse at the time, in reality. And I said, oh no, what am I going to do? And then I saw this little shop next to the store. It's like a little kiosk. And I went in there, and it turned out that this was a place where they had a counter where you could recover your lost items or your stolen items. The thieves would actually bring them there and turn them in, or they would get turned in and they would give them to you. However, they didn't just give them to you, they sold them to you. And as I stood there and watched, an individual came in who had obviously been the one who had stolen my wallet, and he turned over my wallet, and I could see him negotiating with the one who was running this shop at the counter over the price that she would pay for my items. My IDs and stuff. And so they negotiated a price, and she paid him, and he left and left all my stuff behind. So I went up to the counter to get it, and she said, okay, we'll have to negotiate the price on each item. And I said, well, I really need my driver's license. So she named a price, and it really wasn't that expensive. It was like $3.86 or something. But I realized I had no money to get my driver's license back, because I had the only money I had, and all my credit cards and everything were in my wallet. So she says, sorry, you'll have to come back when you have some money. So I was like, okay, I guess that's what I'll have to do, and I left. But it was clearly a little laundering business here where thieves would steal things, they would bring them in, they would sell them for a fee, and then they would be resold back to their original owners. And so I remember this dream very vividly, and I was wondering, what does this mean? And immediately I hear from my guides on the other side, who my primary guide identifies as Steve or John. And I heard, what was it that was said? I'm trying to remember exactly the words that were said. It was something like, first they pick your pockets, and then they make you pay to get it back, to recover your own items. And then they continued to chat with me about this, and so that I could get the meaning of this story. And the meaning of the story has to do with life. Everyone comes into this lifetime whole, knowing they are loved and knowing that they belong, and they are soon trained away from this understanding. It's taken away from them. Their wholeness is taken away from them. And you can look at it this different ways. For instance, in religion. In religion, the various churches will feed you full of stories about hell and damnation and how good and evil and how God created some good and some evil apparently, and the evil ones are going to go to hell, and the original sin and all of that. So all of a sudden you don't feel very whole. You have your essential nature taken away from you. Your essential nature being that you're love, you're whole, and you belong. So they strip you of that, they pick your pockets, if you will, and then they sell it back to you. Come to church, and we'll tell you how to get to heaven. And by the way, fill our collection plate. And so first they take it from you, and then they control the means of giving it back to you. Another way you could look at it is we feed people sugar and cigarettes and all kinds of stuff that aren't good for them. And the people who do so make a great profit at it. And so then on the other side of it, in the other side of the health thing you can think of it, taking away your wholeness, your healthiness, is they charge you then for all the medical care and for the rehab and, you know, for the quit smoking things and et cetera, et cetera. So they're making both money off you on both ends.
Well, and it's so expensive that you have to have insurance.
Right, and half the time you can't. If you don't have enough money, sorry, come back when you have some. You can't get your driver's license back until you have the money. And, you know, there are, on a spiritual level, really, when we come into this world, we come in whole, knowing we're love, and somehow we begin to believe that we don't belong and we aren't love. And we lose our wholeness. And then we go through all kinds of things, all kinds of classes, and, you know, people are hawking this method and that method to find yourself and to come back to wholeness. So I guess you could say this is the psychological side of it. You know, we've talked about the religious side of it and the health side of it. And do this and do that, and you're paying for all these courses and all of this, and not to mention legal fees for all the divorces, in order to get your wholeness back that you started out with. So, that's an example of how they teach me through that particular method.